샬롬. 여러분 반갑습니다. 지난 주간에 또 몇 명의 친구들이 더 여행을 갔네요. 한국으로 가는 것 같은데, 그래도 우리 모일 수 있는 친구들 대부분이 와서 이렇게 함께 예배 드릴 수 있음에 너무 감사드리고, 또 우리 청년들 전에도 말씀드렸지만 방학 기간에 몬트리올을 떠나지 않는다고 해서 여러분들이 방학을 더 잘 못 보내고 그런 거 아니니까 여기서도 얼마든지 잘 계획하면은 훨씬 더 크게 성장할 수 있는 그런 좋은 시간들로 분명 채울 수 있을 줄로 믿습니다. 아직 많이 남았죠? 방학 많이 남았으니까 하루하루 잘 계획도 잘 세우고 그렇게 해서 유익하고 또 보람 있게 즐겁게 방학 잘 보내시기를 바랍니다. 잠깐 이제 지지난주죠. 2주 전에 나눴던 말씀 복습해 보자면 우리 다니엘에 대해서 말씀을 나누었죠. 다니엘과 그의 세 친구들 말씀을 통해서 우리가 배웠습니다. 다니엘과 세 친구들은 나라가 망해서 포로로 끌려온 상황이었어요. 그렇죠. 유다가 망해서 포로로 끌려왔지만 그래도 여호와 하나님, 우리 하나님을 믿는 믿음을, 신앙을 포기하지 않았습니다. 그럴 수 있었던 이유는 하늘의 시민권에 대해서 생각했기 때문이에요. 우리는 이 바벨론 제국의 시민이 아니라 여호와 하나님의 하나님 나라의 시민이다. 하나님 나라의 백성이고 하나님의 자녀들이다 하는 그 믿음, 그 정체성이죠. 아이덴티티를 분명히 가지고 있었기 때문에 세상의 유혹 앞에서도, 심지어는 다니엘처럼 또 세 친구처럼 높은 공직에 올라가면 사실은 세상적으로도 누릴 수 있는 거 다 누릴 수 있거든. 그럼에도 불구하고 하나님을 믿는 그 신앙을 포기하지 않았어요. 대단한 믿음입니다. 세상에 얼마나 많은 유혹을 받았겠어요. 여러분, 프라임 미니스터인데, 그렇죠? 가진 거 다 가진 사람이잖아요. 그 많은 유혹 속에서도 하나님만을 신앙하는, 그래서 하루 세 번 꼬박꼬박 예루살렘을 향한 그 창문을 열어놓고 기도하는 것, 대단한 사람이에요. 다니엘은. 우리가 어떤 상황에서도 이처럼 하나님을 예배하는 사람으로 이 땅을 살아가기를 원합니다. 힘들 때나 아니면 다니엘과 세 친구들처럼 이렇게 자수성가해서 크게 높은 사람이 될지라도 하나님만을 예배하는 사람, 그런 사람, 저와 여러분들이 되기를 간절히 소망합니다. 그 마음이 있으면 하나님께서 여러분들을 높이실 거예요. 아이고, 내 아들이, 내 딸이 나를 이렇게 사랑하고 나를 예배하는구나. 그러면은 세상적으로도 얼마든지 하나님께서 여러분들을 높이셔서 크게 사용해 주실 것입니다. 자, let's move on to today's message. Today we're going to talk about heroine, Esther. Heroine Esther. Esther is one of the descendants of the ones who's been taken away as captives to the Babylonian Empire. Now, a few generations has passed, and the empire has turned to a Persian empire. So first it was a Assyrian empire, then Babylonian empire. Now it has become a Persian empire, and Esther becomes the queen of the Persian Empire king, the famous king Ahasuerus. This king is historically very popular because he's the one who invaded European nations, who fought against Sparta. Have you guys watched the movie 300? 자, 300이라는 영화, 그 스파르탄 용사들에 대한 영화가 있어요. 아니, 좀 19금 영화라서 못 봤을 수도 있는데, 그 그리스 연합 군대를 쳐들어오는 페르시안 킹이 있어요. 수십만, 60만 대군인가 어마어마한 병력을 이끌고 쳐들어오는 페르시아 왕이 있는데, 크세르크스라고 거기 영화에서 나오는데 바로 성경에 아하수에로 왕이 바로 그 왕이에요. 물론 패전에서 결국 돌아가게 되지만 생각해보세요. 60만 명을 동원할 수 있는 어마어마한 힘, 그리고 감히 유럽을 쳐서 점령하겠다는 마음을 품을 만큼 이 당시 페르시안 엠파이어는 27 디스트릭트라고 성경에 나와 있죠. 어마어마하게 큰 제국의 왕인 거예요. 이 아하수에로 왕이. 근데 Esther becomes the queen of that king Ahasuerus. Why did the king chose Esther? Pretty simple reason. Let's read chapter 2 verse 17. The king loved Esther more than all the women, and she won grace and favor in his sight more than all the virgins, so that he set the royal crown on her head and made her queen instead of Vashti. There was another queen before Esther, but that queen has been denounced, and Esther becomes the queen. Why? Because king loved her amongst all the other women. She was beautiful, good figure, and well posed, wise, in many sense. We can see Esther was the right person for the queen. Now, when Esther was the queen of the empire, the father, the stepfather who brought up Esther, called Mordecai, he gets into trouble, a very difficult situation. Why? Because there was a very high official of the king, Ahasuerus, named Haman. And Haman was a very haughty person. He was very proud, and he was beloved by the king Ahasuerus. So every other officials in the palace, they bow down to Haman. They tried to please Haman. But Mordecai wasn't like that. Mordecai didn't really bow down to Haman, or didn't treat Haman so specially. Like next page, like Haman is very haughty person, but Mordecai is just treating him regularly. He doesn't treat him like the other officials. So Haman gets really furious. Who is this Mordecai? Everyone else in this palace, officials, they bow down to me, they treat me, they try to please me. But this Mordecai he doesn't act that way. So he starts to hate Mordecai. So he devised a plot to kill Mordecai. Not only Mordecai, but all his people. Now Haman found out Mordecai is one of the Jews, and there are so many Jews living across the whole empire and nations. So Haman comes to the king. King, my lord, there are nations in your empire who does not really obey your laws. They need to be wiped out. If you set a decree and give me the authority to execute the decree, I will wipe out this nation, these people who disobeys your law. And the king Ahasuerus doesn't really investigate or think deeply about Haman's suggestion, so he gives all that authority to Haman. So Haman set a decree to wipe out all the Jews in the empire, and is about to get executed. Now Mordecai hears the news. He is so much in pain, right? Well, probably he might felt responsible too, because he didn't really treat Haman well. All his people are in danger of being wiped out. So he wears a sackcloth. He sat at the king's gate and starts to cry and fast. And he delivers the message to his beloved stepdaughter, as well as the queen, now the queen of the empire, Esther, what's happening. And then ask Esther's help. Esther hears the news, the stepfather's explanation of what's going on, and she decides, okay, I will fast along with you for 3 days, and then I will go and see the king and let him know what truly is going on here. But this was a very big risk for Esther. Why? Because now that during those times, no one was supposed to just come and seek and meet the king on themselves. If they want to meet and speak to the king, they need to first file an appeal, like we do in regular case. If you want to see a doctor, or we want to see a professor, or if we want to see somebody working in the government, we have to make the plea, right? First, we have to make an application, write all those things properly, and then when the grant is given, then we can see the person, right? Imagine seeing the king of such a big empire. All that process has to be done, even for the queen. The queen could not come and see the husband and the king Ahasuerus, just like that. And Esther says, the king did not seek me for past 30 days. I don't know when he will call me. But now this decree is such an urgent matter. I will go and see the king myself. So she is basically risking her life. It is against the Persian law. But what does she say? This is very, very important confession made by Esther. Go gather all the Jews to be found in Susa and hold a fast on my behalf, and do not eat or drink for 3 days, night or day. I and my young women will also fast as you do. Then I will go to the king, though it is against the law, I said. And if I perish, I perish. What does it mean? I will take my risk. I will take my life upon this matter. If the king is not pleased with me, and if he decides to kill me, so be it. That's what it means. But what is this urgent matter that we need to address? All the people of Jews are going to get wiped out. I have to do something within my authority, within my position. I am a queen of this nation. If I can save the nation, so be it. I will die for my nation. That's what Esther is saying. That's what Esther. Now the king sees Esther, the beloved wife, in his courtyard, and the king is so pleased. Wow, my wife has come and sought me. And then he says to her, Esther, my wife, dear beloved one, what is it that you want? Even if it is the half of the nation, the empire that you wish, I will give it to you. Wow. She's been welcomed by the king Ahasuerus. And then he finds out the truth that Haman was devising such an evil plot against Jews, and Haman gets hanged instead of all the people of the Jews. That's basically the storyline of the whole book of Esther. Now, this story of Esther gives us a very important message, biblical message, and in fact, this message is given throughout the Bible. That is, redemptive love, redeeming love. Redeeming love, next page. What is redeeming love? Redemptive love. Redemption is paying the debt. Paying the debt to set someone who is bound by sin or bound by slaves, to set him free, to give freedom, and to save him. But I'm doing it on his behalf or her behalf, on their behalf. That's redemption. So redemptive love is what we can see in the life of Esther. She is risking her own life to save her nation, right? And this kind of love we can find throughout the Bible. The most important one is where? The most important one? Jesus Christ and the cross and the shed of his blood and giving away of his life to save our life. Remember that, redemptive love. Jesus, by giving his life on the cross, he saved our lives, our lives. In John chapter 12, verse 24, Jesus says this very important verse. Truly, truly, I say to you, unless a grain of wheat falls into the earth and dies, it remains alone. But if it dies, it bears much fruit. It's a difficult verse to grasp, but what it basically means, if you want to produce the fruit of life, then you have to lay down your life. Difficult, right? Difficult to understand? But that's what Jesus is telling us. If you want to produce the fruit of life, you have to lay down your life. That is why Jesus said the greatest love that one can find in this word is what kind of love? John chapter 15, verse 13. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. If you ever think about, okay, what could be the greatest love that we can do on earth? What kind of love that we can show to others? If you lay down your life for the sake of others, that is the greatest love. That is the greatest love. That love was given by our Lord Jesus Christ to all of us. So those who believe in Jesus, those who believe in the cross and the love that He has given us, then we are saved. We're given a new life. That's the beauty and the mystery of our faith in our Lord Jesus Christ. But if you want to look up to Jesus, if you want to follow Jesus, and you want to exemplify our Lord Jesus, does that mean that we also have to lay down our life? We only have one life. Probably if we are at the war setting, we are like shooting guns against the enemies, and then my friend here is about to step on the mine. I see it, he doesn't see it. I push him and I fall on the minefield and then I die. That could happen during the real battle situation, right? It could happen. I just made an example, but it can happen. But does that mean I also have to do something like that? I don't know how to swim well, but if I see somebody drowning in the river, Park Rapid, I think I can jump in and then push him, but I die. Will something like that ever happen in our life? Jesus doesn't want you to actually lay down your life for someone else. That kind of situation probably won't happen for most of us. But how should we follow our Lord Jesus Christ? We have to practice kenosis. Kenosis basically means emptying ourselves. If we empty ourselves and invite more of Jesus, that's how we lay down our life. Our greed, our desire, our stubbornness, our ego. Some people are very egoistic, right? Full of themselves. We have to train ourselves to lay that down. Our belonging. We have so much possession. We have so much to hold on to. I cannot lay any of those down. And we cannot practice redemptive love if we have too much to keep to ourselves. Do you understand? Our time, our energy, whatever that may be, try to empty it more of ourselves and invite more Jesus in that space. That's how we can practice redemptive love. That's how we can follow our Lord Jesus Christ. Esther risked her own life. She didn't need to. She is the queen. Imagine. She doesn't need to risk her life. But she did. Why? Because she loved her own nation. She loved her people. It was more important than her own life to save her own people. That is why she took courage and showed that and practiced that love. God granted her wish, and God saved the nation. I came from India, right? And India has a very respected person. All the people of Indian people respect this person, no matter what. That's why all the prints of the Indian currency has this person's face on it. Do you know who that is? Yes, Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma means great father. Great father Gandhi. On his gravesite, there is 7 teachings that his life is condensed into this teaching. All these are important, but let's just read the sixth one, which matters to us as well. Religion without sacrifice, that's a danger to human virtue. It is written on Gandhi's gravesite. It's giving us the message. Not only Jesus has said that, the person who's pretty recent or is also saying that. We are a religious gathering, right? But if there is any kind of sacrifice or service or laying down canoes amongst us, it is pretty dangerous. That's what he is saying. So, death is not the end. Everyone is pretty scared, afraid of dying, but probably the actual fruit that we're going to gain probably is after this. So as we practice laying ourselves down, we will see more fruit that God will grant us. Remember today's title. To die is to gain. So don't be afraid to take risks. Don't be afraid to sacrifice. Don't be afraid to give something or share something of yours with others. God will bless you. God will make you fruitful, and everything He does for you is for your own good and for your own safety and salvation and life. Okay? We want to follow Jesus that way. 우리도 예수님처럼 대속적인 사랑이죠. 자기 희생적인 사랑을 목숨을 내놓는 방법이 아니라 우리가 가지고 있는 것들을 조금씩 비워가고 그 자리에 예수님을 요청하고 예수님의 방식을 요청하고 예수님처럼 그 사랑을 실천하면서 살 때 우리 삶 가운데도 주님이 주시는 놀라운 축복과 사랑과 풍성한 은혜들이 차고 넘치기를 간절히 소망합니다. 함께 기도하겠습니다.